Hello and welcome. Welcome everyone. Thank you. Thank you for your time today for joining the first episode of our Empower webinar series. And I'm your host for today and also going to be a second speaker talking about what possibilities we can bring in with AI in your organization. We will ensure today that you will take something pretty important that you can utilize in your organization and do a great impact in your community. Let me introduce you to team today. I'm Vinay Joshi. I'm head of sales for application services with Exigotech. With me, I have Philip Meyer, who is from Microsoft, pretty senior resource, and he has been into industry for quite some time. He's going to talk through and our key speaker today about AI and what possibility it brings to not-for-profit industry. We have Nag Verma, who is Dynamics 365 practice lead at Exigo, and he's champion in finance and customer engagement side of it. We also have Alpesh Prajapati, who is our modern workplace custom data and analytics lead, who has been helping a lot of customers getting great insights with the possibility that we can get through these tools. So with this, let me move to our next slide, technology for social impact. And let me hand it over to Philip without wasting any further time. Over to you, Philip.
Thank you, Vinay. That's very kind of you, and it's very kind of you to organise this event for the community, of which I have a particular desire to assist in whatever way I can, whether that's myself volunteering for a number of different non-profits and even running one-round child protection and being involved directly with the Australian Federal Police on one. So technology can absolutely be used for social impact. And over the next little bit, I'd like to share some thoughts in and around that. Let me just take control. I forgot to press the button, Vinay, sorry. I've got it now, the wonderful thing of Teams, and it just hit take control, and now I'm driving the slides. It's a pretty stark slide, a picture that you see on the right there, but it is representative of our world today. It is a world of great hope. There are many hopeful stories, and we live in the world of hope. It's a great thing. We should all cherish is hope. Yet there are billions at risk, and they are being excluded. And again, I value the great work that you're doing to help that community that may feel excluded in their lives today, whether they're homeless or they have accessibility issues, whether they need care in their age. As I'm getting older, I'm very much appreciating the aged care sort of component of that too. So yes, there are billions of people who are at risk. And so we are on a mission as a company. Yes, we are a commercial organisation. Yes, we are a big organisation. But we have a mission statement, which I'm rejoicing with Satya Nadella, who runs our organisation, recognised as the world's leading CEO. And he really formed this statement when he became CEO around empowering every person and every organisation on the planet to achieve more. It's a big statement, it's a bold statement, but certainly in my experience in working for this organisation, I see that every day through the giving programs and the various non-profits that we support and the investment of our own people's time here in Australia to helping various non-profits directly through volunteering or with technology advice and guidance. And of course, I do respect the support that partners like Exigotech also have in making that mission statement a reality. Now, in this age of AI, I couldn't help myself when Vinay gave me the opportunity to talk on the topic of non-profits, that there might be issues that you face today. So I used AI. I actually used Copilot, copilot.microsoft.com, and asked it a simple question. What are the top 3 issues facing non-profits today? From a Microsoft perspective, I did have that caveat in the prompt from a Microsoft perspective, because I appreciate, and Vinay's got some very good other talking points around the challenges that you face. But I thought as a Microsoft speaker, I'd make it relevant to me and to you by bringing out these 3 challenges. I did use Copilot rather than ChatGPT, and I've got some words to say about the usage of ChatGPT if you've got a moment. Please be careful. We love ChatGPT as Microsoft, but you've got to be very careful in its usage, in that your information is their information. Whereas with Copilot, your information is your information. It isn't shared with anybody else. And there are some sad tales to share around ChatGPT, whether it's the Samsung story where they shared their code and hackers found it and they were able to hack the phone, or whether it was a consultant, a council operator in Queensland who was doing research into pedophiles in the local area. And they, unfortunately, because of that, when somebody else did a query, are identified as a pedophile as well. So look, ChatGPT is great if you want to do things like holiday planning, but if you're doing planning for your business, financial planning for the nonprofit, if you're looking at staff, if you're working with documents and creating documents that you feel are confidential to your business, please do think about using some of the things that we'll talk about in a moment. And that's really in that point about governance challenges. So understanding the need to protect the business, the privacy of your volunteers, of your fundraisers, of your donors, of your own staff is a very important thing that you do face as a challenge as a nonprofit. So addressing security and privacy, we felt was one of those top issues. We also felt the need to increase productivity of your staff because most nonprofits, certainly that I've met, are always staff constrained. They're always looking for ways to get more out of their staff that they have to increase their productivity. So we'll touch on some of the elements around this item called Copilot, which does indeed increase staff productivity, and I'll share some numbers in that space. And then finally, again, in that resource constraints component, where you have, data warehouse requirements, which require efficiency in management and data security again, and you looking for purpose-built solutions specifically for fund management, for donor management, for event management, rather than having to use something in a commercial space and try and fit your square peg in the round hole. Try and find a square hole for your square peg. So trying to find the product that is built for that. And I know Vinay is going to talk about that more around the cloud for nonprofits, where there are specific technologies that can help in that space. Just to amplify some of the work we've done in the recent year, we granted over $1 billion, nearly $2 billion worth of software and services through our nonprofit site to various different organisations. And I do please hope you're taking care of the microsoft.com/nonprofits. You're registering yourself as a nonprofit and hence receiving significant amounts of software and services such as Azure for free. We're donating employee time. We have a matching program in our company where you volunteer as a donor or you donate. The company will also donate, and in this case, nearly over 220 million. It's US dollars rather than Australian dollars too. So in the tech for social impact area, we are trying to create a new model with TSI. We have got a program which I really applaud Exegotech signing up to be part of our tech for social impact community. We don't have a lot of partners in Australia, but we do applaud those few that lean in on this new business model, a business model where we're investing in things like humanitarian action, the AI for Good initiative, which I'll talk about, the skilling and employability of people, as well as addressing affordable housing. And so we have the partner ecosystem. Again, Exegotech, it's helping with us. We're building our capacity, training. We're investing over 300,000 in training over 300,000 people in Australia over the next 5 years on technology and making it more affordable as well through the investment and donation program. I've mentioned Exegotech, I'll mention them again. I really appreciate the work that they're doing to empower Achieve More with the Microsoft-based solutions, consulting services. They're tailoring their solutions to your specific needs and indeed offering managed services to you as a valued community. These are some of the areas that we're working on in and around AI for Good. Accessibility. There's been some remarkable work done right here in Australia. The Seeing Eye program, which is a mobile phone that can act as enhancing the sight of an individual. So if they're walking along with a mobile phone in front, it can give them audio guidance on the things that are obstacles in front of them. Our AI for Earth initiatives, we've got good examples of that operating here in Australia. We've got work happening in the Barrier Reef to identify issues to do with crown of thorns and other issues to do with plastics, and where they're using AI to better analyse that flow of impact on our planet and impact on our wildlife. some of the humanitarian action programs that we're running in various parts of the world, in conflict today or in challenge today, where we have our own staff that land and support during the fires that were here recently in Victoria and New South Wales. Our own staff went out and equipped the volunteers and the emergency services people with AI technology to better understand what was going on with the wildlife and humanitarian impact on homes, cultural heritage, and healthcare. In the healthcare space, there's a couple of good examples, case studies that I'd mention here, where our technology has been applied to health with HealthWise. In this particular case, you can see Matt, who's a senior director of operations, has been quoted there in terms of how it's improving things. And in this case, they were using our machine learning technology to improve the health information of medical professionals, to improve the guidance, to get accurate diagnostics, to remove human errors that were occurring, and to enhance the time. And again, I see the same being applied here, admittedly in a health institution, which is in Queensland, where they're using AI technology, speech to text technology on emergency admissions to rapidly be able to admit people from car accidents and other serious accidents into the hospital system. And by using artificial intelligence, providing a quicker response when they don't have a seasoned professional available, this AI technology is improving the ability for early triage and diagnostics and then treatment to deal with that. Another one is the Epilepsy Foundation case study. You can hear Jeff here, who's the Chief Development Officer, talking about how they're using our purpose-built Dynamics 365 sales, customised for doing donor management, fundraising management, and constituent management. And I'm sure Vinay will talk more about this technology because his organisation has great skills in and around the Dynamics 365 family to really bring to life many of the capabilities in that technology custom to the non-profit community. I have mentioned AI quite a bit, haven't I, Vinay? And I don't apologise for that because it really is something that is energising at the moment. We had an event here in Sydney only last week with over 5,000 attendees, which was all about AI. Something like 69% of all AI in the planet now runs on the Microsoft platform, whether that's ChatGPT or the Microsoft-built services or services built by partners like Vinay's and Execotech that is custom to your needs. So AI is certainly top of mind. You only have to see these press clippings from New Zealand, Canberra Times, the ABC News. So this is all local stuff where we see AI. And I might just a little segue. Actually, I think I've got a better place to segue, and I'll do that in a moment. This is very much what we've been doing around AI, is that increasing productivity of your current staff to remove the drudgery of work. And it's kind of surprising. The research, whilst it covered 31,000 people, including nonprofits in 31 countries, in and around their usage of these technologies, the thing that was surprising was that actually people find with the Microsoft products and competitors' products, they're actually obstacles to productivity. So whether it's Microsoft Teams or Google Hangouts for running meetings, or whether they're using Word or Google Sheets, or whatever it is, they're feeling that they need to be more efficient, that their productivity is encumbered sometimes by the inefficiencies of these tools to work with other, to inspire them, to summarize meetings, to help them. They're dealing with a storm of email. They're dealing with a storm of meetings. So how can we actually use this technology to overcome those productivity obstacles? And this is exactly why we've turned to Copilot. A little data point that I thought worth bringing out here is that when we did ask leaders like you about the potential of AI, it was delightful to see that most of you indicated with the use of AI in business was about increasing the productivity of staff and not reducing headcount. And that's pretty delightful to see that come from that Work Trends Index survey of the 31,000 people across the countries. Because indeed, listening to some of the financial analysts here in Australia the other day, and it was in a panel sort of forum, they all talked about the R word, recession. And it was interesting to hear them talking about that, ways to avoid the recession, was actually about not reducing headcount, because that just creates a bigger burden on our social infrastructure to support those unemployed. It was about retaining that employment, but increasing productivity. And a number of people on the panel actually cited the use of the Microsoft technologies as something that can redress this challenge that we do face, where we need to overcome the challenge, our financial challenges, by increasing productivity of staff. And I think in a couple of cases, they actually referenced this specific research by the Tech Council of Australia. So the Tech Council, when we showed them this technology in its preview form in March last year, we showed them what the co-pilots could do. And they came back and said, we believe that at the slow, medium, and fast levels of adoption of what you're advocating here, Microsoft, we could see increases in productivity and increases in our economic produce, anything from $45 to $115 billion. So improving, again, productivity or quality of work, or potentially even creating not new jobs, not losing jobs, but creating new jobs, and also business growth and creativity, new forms of media, new sorts of output. So this is pretty good news. It's actually very good news. Let's face it, if we have had some difficult financial times and the economists are telling us we need to increase productivity, and we have a tool in our midst that can achieve that. So more recently, so this was produced in December, so it is quite current, of some of those people who we delivered the Copilot technology to, the Microsoft 365 Copilot technology was given to a good number of very large customers to run in their business, including nonprofits. And this is the numbers we're getting back from 85% increase in productivity to get to a first draft on emails, finding whatever I need in my files quicker, 75%. Reducing mundane tasks, 71%. Quality of work increases. The ideas for creative writing, 72%. So that focus time, 67%. There's significant improvements in productivity, quality, and focus that is coming through this technology. But just to lighten it up a little bit, have a look on the right-hand side. That's fun. So they asked the participants, if we gave you a free lunch every month, would you stop using Copilot? And 88% said, no way, you can keep your free lunch. Even when we went to a weekly, so 1 in every 5 days, we're going to give you a free lunch, 77% said, nah, you can keep your free lunch. I'm not giving up this Copilot stuff in Word, in PowerPoint, in Excel, in Teams, the chat capabilities that we're going to have a look at in a moment. Before I do show a quick demonstration of the capabilities, I just wanted to re-emphasize a point I made earlier about ChatGPT. This is your ChatGPT model. This is where your data fuels the machine, and your data is then available to other people to look at. So clearly, if it's holiday planning, you probably don't care. But even personal financial planning, I'd be cautious about using something that's looking at your financial position that other people could then assess. And certainly if you're doing any of your business planning contracts and agreements and terms and conditions with your various sponsors and donors, then I'd be thinking that maybe this isn't the right model for you to use. So then you say, well, what is? Well, the model we'd be advocating you use is one which is predicated on the idea that your data is your data. It resides within your cloud subscription. And within that subscription, not only is your data contained to your organization only, but even within your organization, the data can be quarantined, isolated to particular units that have permission to look at that data. So if you've got a HR department or a recruitment department and who are dealing with personal information of volunteers, having that information separated away from your events team or separated away from the donor team, so that you've got that isolation of data even within the business. And I'm sure if you're senior managers of these nonprofits, you're very sensitive to some of the things that you're dealing with in conversation with some of your other senior managers. You'd like your peers as senior managers to be able to query, to research, to analyze, to get insights across those conversations. But I'm sure you don't want other staff in the organization to have access to that information. So a model that is predicated on data loss prevention, private endpoints, your data is your data, and with prompt engineering, prompt engineering and filtering, which is blocking out things like hallucinations and jailbreaks, that is stopping things like gender bias and racial bias. These are the things that are built in a better model. And indeed, this is what the Azure and Microsoft model is. It has those controls built into it to ensure that you are protected and it's responsible in your implementation across all the different ways that you might work with our technologies. I don't know, Vinay, if you wanted to add anything in there. I mean, you're quite insightful, but this is a different model. It is a paid-for model. You do have to subscribe to these services, but I think the value in and around data loss prevention, your data is your data, and even the governance within your organization is important. Vinay, did you want to add anything in that point there?
On these lines, yes, it is pretty important, right? Like when you're accessing the information, and not just within the organization data. In the organization, the same data needs to have that kind of an access control on who receives what kind of an information when you're querying the data. So we did a minor POC within our organization where we were looking forward, and we used the Azure OpenAI services on this. And we use the HR policy document and other aspects of HR, uh, and give an ability for our employees to find out what are the policies for leave or what are the maternity policy leave. So all those documents, we also being the ISO certified company into security, it becomes very important that the right person gets right information. So in that kind of a scenario, how we can put up the model together where a right person gets the right access to the right information. So those are the possibilities with the use of these models within the closed environment in your cloud subscription. So we have done the POC model on it and it works great as well.
Thank you, Vinay. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you very much for giving those insights from a real implementation of this technology. So let me just go on to a quick demonstration of this technology. So let's just check that the video plays, and maybe you can give me a quick thumbs up if you can hear the audio coming through.
Introducing Microsoft 365 Chat, a powerful new capability in Microsoft 365 to solve your most complex problems at work. Let's say you're a marketer at a national chain of home improvement stores, and you need to get the latest on the store opening. You start your day with Copilot, asking what's hot in your inbox today. It does some thinking and gives you an overview of the most pressing items. Great. Looks like the new store opening plans could use your attention. Let's dive in deeper there. Copilot combs through all your recent emails, chats, documents, and meetings, whether you attended them or not, to get you up to speed in moments. It didn't just summarize a single document, it knew what sources to pull from and what information to extract from each. Next, you need to do some market research. Let's say you want some details on square footage and the proximity of competitors to your new location. M365 Chat scours the web, and within seconds, it finds everything you're looking for. And it includes references, so you can easily fact-check the results. You're curious, how does this stack up against the other stores you opened in the past year? Copilot figures out which stores you mean, crunches the numbers, and gives you the answer. Next on your to-do list, finalize the date and speaker for the opening event. You missed the last meeting, and this might have come up in the conversation. Copilot's got you covered, getting you up to speed in seconds. Looks like it was a dynamic discussion, and it's your responsibility to make the final decision. To do that, you need to understand all the factors at play, including the implications they have on your grand opening timeline. Copilot extracts the relevant details and puts them in an organized table, which helps bring the full picture into view. You're not seeing a clear answer, so you ask it to recommend the best date and speaker based on the constraints discussed. It not only understands the constraints, it thinks through the options to help solve your problem. There you go. Now you have a clear recommendation so you can make the call and notify the team. Now that you've got your opening date, you've got to get the customers excited. Time to write a blog post. You point Copilot to the right files and ask it to pick the top 5 things and make them prominent. Here it goes. Give it a moment. Okay, now you've got a blog post. This store will be the first to unveil your new home improvement concierge service, and you need a catchy tagline. Let's generate some options. This is great for when you've got a case of writer's block. Here we go. These look pretty good. You want to add a blurb on the new store manager and highlight their impressive retail experience. Copilot pulls the information from LinkedIn and puts it in the blog for you. The opening is just around the corner, and you've got to send an email to get the team ready. Now, one of the amazing things about Copilot is you don't need to worry about things like punctuation, spelling, or being super structured in your prompt. You can just give it a total brain dump, as you can see here. And what you'll find is the more context you give it, the better the results. There was a great quote in the store walkthrough video that you want to include, but you don't remember where you last saw it or have time to search for it, let alone rewatch it to find the quote. Based on your quick description, Copilot can find the exact video you're thinking of, extract the quote you wanted, and plugs both the quote and the video into your email. Let's hop over to Outlook to refine the email. So you like the draft, but it doesn't sound like you. Introducing Sound Like Me in Outlook. Now Copilot can personalize any email to match your unique style and voice. It even gets the subtle details right, like how you sign your emails. M365 Chat is a whole new way to work.
So anybody want to give us a thumbs up on how cool that is? Yeah, Vinay gave me one, thank you. And there's a few others too. It is pretty cool. Now, look, please, I know you're all smart people, so you can probably make a substitution from a commercial retail store into a non-profit scenario. So where it might have talked about customers, it might have been about your volunteers, getting a message out to your volunteers. Instead of being a retail store in space, it might be whether you're operating a new office in another location. So I hope you can make that translation from the example we gave, which is a retail store, into the context of your own organization. So thank you for doing that. But I would just like to touch, before I hand back to Vinay, on a couple of points in that. And I might just take them from the last to the first. Didn't you like that sounds like me? The fact that it has a professional response or a casual response, but you can actually say, no, that doesn't sound like me. And it knows from your previous emails, which by looking and seeing them, how you write your emails and how you sign your emails. If I step back to another item, did you see how it incorporated the video inside the email? But moreover, that it was able to analyze the videos and find within that video the quote that the gentleman was asking for and turn that into text and include that within the email. Did you also see how it made you could reference documents, specific documents to draw on, PowerPoint presentations, Word documents to specifically scan to create the context? And you may have also noticed that it made some decisions in and around when the event should be run and who should be the speaker. So it's going, okay, the optimal time to run the event was November 4 because of the foot traffic that was going through the stores. For you in the volunteering space, it might be related to trend patterns with respect to when you expect more people who are donors to be out at a particular location. You know, if you've got the classic people who wear the sandwich boards or carry a bucket around, you've got some idea from past trend patterns and it brings that forward. And then if you've got an event, who is available and is an appropriate person to present and open that particular event. So there's many other little subtleties within that video that you might want to go back and watch. And you can watch these videos. They're all up on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and search for Microsoft 365 Copilot, there's an option there of playlist, and there's about 15 to 20 videos now up there. There's ones for Word, for Excel, which is amazing to give you insights into larger quantities of data. With PowerPoint, with Designer to do artwork and graphics. There's some wonderful things in Designer. If you're possibly paying for third-party products today to do graphic design, well, we include this product now, Designer, for free. And even if the picture is not including all you need, it creates using AI the areas above, below, left, and right. So it's remarkable, the stuff that's there to, again, what are we trying to address here? Productivity, creativity, inspiration, removing the mundane and the repetitive tasks in our lives. Now, I just threw this a little bit of humor in. I love that. And come on, let's admit it. Whether you use ChatGPT today and Copilot in future, you know you can do that sort of thing absolutely inside Outlook for inspiration. if you need to get inspiration, or if you need to summarize something and get the talking points. Teams is also another wonderful example of this. I'm sure Vinay and the team who have organised this have got the Copilot active, and they're getting a good summary of everything I've said through the transcript and recap options that are activated in their tenancy. But my closing slide is, before I hand back to Vinay, is just want to really re-emphasize that point around our principles around AI. Number one, your data is your data. We're not using that data and sharing it with anybody else. It is only your data. Your data is not used to train these models without your permission. If you wish to put the data into the model, you have to grant permission to have that data put into a model which is shared with others. And your data is protected by the most comprehensive compliance and security controls. It's another thing that I'm 33 years at Microsoft, and every day I get prouder to work here for all of its inclusion and its diversity and its support of charities, but also just the focus they have on security to make it the number one largest security vendor in the planet now by an order of 10. And the wonderful thing is that we include all that technology in our business premium technology, our E3 technology that's there and available for you to use as being a non-profit. So with that, I'll pass back to Vinay and thank him and the Exigo Tech for the team for the opportunity to share a few thoughts with you today. Thank you, Vinay.
Thank you, Philip. Great. And look, there is a great insight to this. On the great insight onto the AI. And with generative AI, we are just scraping the tip of a big iceberg. If you ask me what impact AI is going to have on our life, I would say the two major events in recent history, like a couple of decades and couple of centuries ago. One is internet, which changed the way we live nowadays. And the second one is electricity. That kind of an impact we are now expecting AI will be bringing to our lives. I'm been into reading books and listening to the books. And recently I have been reading a book called Power of Prediction 2 for the AI systems. Now, this book is written by economists and not by any technologist. And these economics, they talk about economics of AI. And they say AI is at the moment in between stage, in between under inverted commas. When you say in between stage, they say that we are at the moment having a point applications which are more adopted. Point applications like Gen AI, point applications like doing financial analysis and whatnot. But to move to up to a system and infrastructure level adoption across the board, it will take around 20 plus years of that impact, which I believe the pace at which we are moving right now, it would be much, much sooner than the later. And talking about AI, there are a few components to AI, which is pretty important. And that's where securing your data and access to a data, there's a machine learning and all those aspects of it. When you talk about data, now the purpose of our empowerment series is to talk about how we are bringing these tools and technology, and we have been helping our customers, our partners in not-for-profit organizations use of this technology to help them and get the greatest efficiency and have a major impact. Uh, I would like to talk about Palmera. So Palmera is a non-profit organization, a great cause. I was blown out about learning about their cause when we were working with them. Palmera is operating in Sri Lanka, but it is managed through Australia. The key people are in Australia. And during the recent economic crisis and post-pandemic, the families were struggling to put food on the table in Sri Lanka, like a lot of villages were struggling. So what they wanted to do with the vision is to have a family have their own earning a living. It is not about just donating a food or supplies. It is also about making them capable of having their own earning their own income, which changed a lot of dynamics. To do that, they had to have a lot of information related to individual family about their circumstances. And to do that, their frontline volunteers has to go door to door in remote area of villages, collect the data manually, bring it back, collect together, and then get insights into it, which took a lot of time, challenges. Working with Palmera, what we did is, being a non-profit organization, we took an advantage of all Microsoft programs and we came up with a solution based on Power Platform. We developed Power Platform applications on those are Canvas application, which works on mobile devices. And we made this possible that this Power Platform mobile device applications will work in a remote area without connectivity. Yes, Power Platform without connectivity. We might have been thinking that any technology in cloud needs connectivity. So what we have done is develop these applications, put it on a mobile devices, either tablets or mobile phones, and then give them an access to frontline workers to go in a remote area, collect the data and information about their farmlands, about their home, about their livestock, about their financial conditions, about the health in the family, about any disability in the family, collect that information, and as soon as they come back into the connectivity, the data gets syncs with the database and immediately spits out an insightful information that helps them to create a meaningful funding appeal. So doing so, at the moment we have already developed 5 different applications with Palmera, and we have developed applications for agriculture. We have developed applications for home garden. We have developed application for livestock, savings and microfinance as well, and a big reporting tool. Been doing a great impact into the community. I would like to take a few screenshots of what Power Platform apps we have developed. So in this scenario, a person, a volunteer, frontline volunteer, goes to the farm, goes to the family in remote areas. They collect the information about what kind of a farm land size they have, how much cultivation they did previous year, what kind of a crop they are going to put in, and all this related information. They also measure the information on what output they received in kilograms and all those aspects of it, and then they see whether the productivity was enough or not. They also give them farming techniques, education, related seeds, equipment, which is kind of a funding and donation so that they can make their earning going back to their vision. And from there, they will again measure. So this continuous improvement is there. And to do this, we have enabled the edge of this particular organization by going back and collecting the information. And you will see there is a lot of impact that they have been creating. They have already reached out to 20,000 plus families. I think it's a great achievement in the short time. And they have around 85% of household in villages who work with them, right? It's a challenge going in villages and working with. So 85% of household who work with them, they have realized improvement in their liquid assets and liquidity. Same time, 75% have seen increase in productivity. Those are the great statistics and numbers, I would say. Head to their website if you can, palmera.org, and see how they are driving this learning and earning for the community. Great impact and a great non-profit organization. Now, when we talk about not-for-profit cloud for NFP, there are 4 major pillars to it, right? So, and what AI can play a role in non-profit. AI has a great potential to revolutionize how nonprofits operate across 4 pillars: program design and delivery, finance, marketing and communication, and fundraising. AI can make a great impact in a program delivery when you can automate certain tasks. AI can help nonprofit enhance their efficiencies and take their impact to the next level with the use of AI. This means the frontline workers will have more valuable time delivering the mission rather than doing the ad hoc manual work. With the finance and operations, AI would be a game changer. It will streamline the operations, consolidating tasks, critical insights for program budgets, and its securities. With marketing and communication, AI features, there are some amazing features. If you are not using, if you go to customer insights, which is now, which was earlier a marketing module, the AI insights, AI features it has is, just imagine giving a command in a natural language saying, exclude the donors who donated last week and create a new segment that you can go and market in a fundraising activity. Just imagine the fine-tuned segment that you will get will have a higher response and an engagement in the fundraising activity. Talking about fundraising, AI can be a very helpful over here as well. You can analyze donor data with the customer profile and have a personalized approach to them. At the same time, you can also create a high quality content for website, for your blogs, for your social media, and all your marketing materials. When we are talking about all this AI and use of AI, I will tell you, we have already started using AI and through Copilot and the various cases of Azure to responding to the proposals to the Power Platform and all. One of the use I will talk about the webinar that I was preparing yesterday. Use AI in PowerPoint platform. There is a rehearse with coach, and it will actually give you an insight onto how many times you are taking a break, pause, and all those aspects of it. Just imagine what kind of an effectiveness and impact will have on the content that you're creating through these AI tools and technologies and the features that is providing. So let's talk about the various features we have on this Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit solutions across all these four pillars, which is across fundraising, marketing, program management, and finance and operations. Microsoft has application across all these individual tools, and they have been developed on non-profit common data model. You can see a great possibility to use this, and this does not need a high configuration or customization because it's been developed onto the framework for nonprofit, taking experience from various larger nonprofits, and this is ready to deploy. And we have actually done a tailored package which can implement within a week without spending hundreds and thousands of dollars for nonprofit. I have created a bit of a curated content resources, which we would be sharing during the end of the presentation and also through the email later on. So you have the fundraising and donor management screens. So if you're running a campaign, you can get a good Power BI reports and take your decisions and how it's going. You can get an insights into the individual donor as well. Quite wealthy insights, I would say. And this insights gives your donor information as well as family and what kind of other things that you can get maximum out of this donor. Same thing onto the volunteer management side as well. I will share a link where you can have a click through walk about this particular program. This is customer profiling and journey. So you can do a customer profiling through customer insights, and you can run journey for a personalized approaches. Talking about implementation of this, so Westmead Research Institute, they are based in western region of Sydney, quite a famous, and they are doing a great cause, great work for a cause of fighting against diseases, not only in Australia, but across the world. They had a challenge of maintaining their donor data and engagement. What we did is we implemented Microsoft Not-for-Profit Accelerator, earlier name for the Cloud for Nonprofit, and we implemented for their donors data, for their engagement, as well as for integrating with the payment gateways through their website and integrating with their finance system. So great case study, not months, but within a few weeks, we were able to uprun without much of a customization, establish this solution implementation for this particular customer. Great story. Now, we have been talking about fundraising, marketing, and we have been talking about operations and all. But the great case is when it comes to delivering a service. So this is my favorite case. And for this innovative work we have done, we have also won an award for partner innovation in Singapore. SOS Samaritans of Singapore is a non-profit, a well-known non-profit in Singapore. As Exigo, we provide services in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, and in India as well. So Samaritans of Singapore provide services to people who are in crisis having suicidal thoughts. They provide advisory services. The challenge for their agents were that they were not able to identify every time an anonymous person, because these people who are in crisis, they like to connect in an anonymous way. So they were not able to identify what was the previous discussions or the advice were given to them or a counseling were given to them. Now, WhatsApp has been a great adopted tool in Singapore for communication. So we implemented Dynamics 365 customer service omni-channel on a digital messaging add-on through Azure OpenAI service, Azure Communication Services, and through WhatsApp integration through Tune.io, we establish this connection. Now, a person in a crisis can anytime connect to an agent. An agent can identify a person not through a name, through his mobile number, and can refer to the previous history. Either they have contacted through hotline or through chat, and they can connect with WhatsApp. Now, this is a great implementation. We not only connected this, but we also use Copilot Studio, which is a Power Virtual Agent. We along with that AI intelligence, we included pre-chat survey, which helps them an understanding a agent understanding a criticalness of the issue and act accordingly, and a post-chat survey to do a follow-up activities so that the care or the consulting given has the maximum effectiveness. A great organization to follow. They are, I would say, they are early adopters of technology. I've been to their facility. They had telegrams, they had analog phones. They are almost 55 years old as an organization, and they were onto the digital transformation, and they are adopting AI as well into the research onto their data that they have been collecting within the organization. A great organization to work with. We have a lot of case studies. I'm just cautious about the time. In Australia, we have worked with St. Agnes, multiple uh, community activities they do, from aged care to schools to childcare and all. We have implemented a complete finance system for them, consolidation, and we also implemented a sales system for them. Same way with Seva Rural in India, we have done a lot of modern workplace service for them. And not only that, but we also partner with ISV solutions in Microsoft. So one of the solutions that we partner with Wise. Wise is built on Microsoft Business Central, and they add a industry specific solution to it. So with Wise, you have all the ability to manage your not-for-profit business. You're definitely a day-to-day financial transactional management, but at the same time, track and report on funds, automate your reporting, and manage project costing and jobs. A great tool and a great success stories in not-for-profit. So what next from here? We have been listening to Philip on a lot of other things from AI, from generative AI, the AI, what are the possibilities with it, the use cases where we have done. If you're an organization, Microsoft is here to support along with the partners with us. So Microsoft has a certain assessment programs. Talk to us. We will also reach out to individual where we can identify or we can have a discussion based on to what stage your organization is. Either you are on an initial stage with one single problem statement, something like, I want to measure the impact of the services we provide, right? So that's one line statement. In this envisioning workshop, we will work with you, we will go into the details, and we'll create a roadmap onto how we can take this further, understanding tools and technology. Or if you are at a stage and want to know what would be a business value create a business case uh, to present it to the board or management to get an approval, we will work with you on a business value and a solution assessment to give you a business outcome analysis as well as technology analysis for technical people, and create a business case that can be presented to the board for the approvals. We can, if you are also looking for a specific tailored things, we can do a tailored demo. And at the end, if you are already onto the Microsoft on-prem solutions, Microsoft is helping businesses to move to cloud, and we can be an help to that in doing an assessment, helping you to move to cloud. So great opportunity. Talk to us. Apart from this, Exigo also has its readiness assessment programs. We have a Copilot readiness assessment program. We can work with you onto an assessment of your current state, outline certain scenarios that you want to work with, and build a plan to roll it out. Same thing with Microsoft Fabric readiness assessment. With a lot of data and the infrastructure, we can help you do a solution design, setup, and get a meaningful insight through your data that you have. So please reach out to us and talk to us about these programs. And the last, about ready to go, quick implementation. As I said previously, it should not be adhere to an organization to implement not for cloud, not for profit. So we have not for profit package where we can come in few weeks. We can implement fundraising and donor management, customer journeys, program management, help you train and go go ahead with it. Once you realize, we can further keep on maturing those processes and implementing the extending solutions. Same thing if you want to go for a simple sales, if you are into merchandise or selling services, which gives you back to your generates revenue for your non-profit organization, we can work with you, and at the same moment customer service as well. So there is immense possibilities with the tools and technologies available. Please come and talk to us with the individual case scenarios, the way we have worked with Palmyra, SOS, Westmead, and a lot of other organizations. We can help you with the same. Meanwhile, sorry, I forgot to tell one thing. If you have any questions in Q&A section, please feel free to ask questions. And we have experts like Nag and Alpesh and Phil along with me to answer any queries if you have. I have curated certain resources. I won't be able to show links, but these are the Microsoft along with this. If you have an in-house developers or in-house teams, there's a non-profit learning curve, like learning material available, which I can share with you. These are the links. We will share details with you, the presentation, so that you can go through these links. There is for SMB non-profit. If anyone is from SMB non-profit, you can have a non-profit tech guide, then how you get onto this Microsoft non-profit from modern workplace to Dynamics to data and to Azure Cloud. And then lastly, a click through demos of nonprofit cloud. So I have curated certain resources. We've been into the industry and we always see a lot of cases. Please reach out to us for any of the information that you request. Questions. If you can put your questions in the question and answer section, probably we would love to answer those questions. I think Sharmila, sorry to put you on the spot, you had raised your hand. Darren, previously you raised your hand. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in this chat. Sorry, we are just putting a chat like a Q&A available so that it is easier to answer the queries for anyone. Okay, I think there is a question from Suhail. Will the recording be available and I'm at work and won't be able to continue? Yeah, so Suhail, we will get you the recording would be posted later on. Okay, thanks, Darren. Thanks for joining as well. Any other questions? Sorry, we have overrun the time as well. We never know once you start discussing these scenarios. It's like I know I have so many cases that I can discuss, keep talking. Recently, we just help while someone think about a question. Recently, we just help another organization in not-profit. They wanted to do a compliance. We implemented a business central for them, and they wanted to maintain the records. So in that, we have used Dynamics Power Platform and Power Portal to help them maintain the compliance with their supplier. I think there was one question that came through in a chat. You mentioned Designer is available in our NFP package. How do we access it? Phil, do you want to take this question?
Sure, designer.microsoft.com. From memory is the link you want to go to, and it should be available to you today. And it's actually a consumer product, so we make that available to you outside of the NFP program. You can use that in your home life. You can use it in your work life.
Wonderful. Okay, I won't hold any longer. Just to let you know, we have a next session organized for manufacturing industry, which would be on Thursday, 21st of March at 3 p.m. This is the second episode of our webinar series, and we will be talking about technology, how it makes an impact. And regardless of an industry, if you would like to join and learn about what we can bring in for a specific industry, feel free to reach out to us and any of our assessments and contact details. Thank you.
Thanks again, Vinay, and the Executive Tech team, and to all those people who turned up today. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.